What's up? It's Tre Harris here, wide receiver for Los Angeles Chargers, and you're tuning in to Chargers Unleashed.
Welcome to another edition of Chargers Unleashed. Jake Hefner and Daiyan Wolkenstein here with you from the LAFB Network. If this is your first time tuning in the show, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Daiyan Wolkenstein, if you were one of the lucky ones, like Daiyan Wolkenstein yesterday, who did not get a chance to watch the Los Angeles Chargers host the Washington Commanders
live,
unlike the rest of us who had to watch 4 quarters of pain, agony, squalor, and defeat.
3.
Dan, we gave kind of the benefit of the doubt to this team after the Giants debacle to basically chalk that up to say, okay, it's an annual trap game that every team goes through at least once a year. You're coming in, you're facing a rookie quarterback that you didn't have much film on, and you think to yourselves, well, you can't get any worse than that in terms of a collective meltdown against the Giants, right? You can't get any worse than that. Turns out you can, Dan, because the Chargers decided to put together a repeat performance just 1 week later that was as bad as a horror movie sequel. I'm talking Freddy's Revenge, The Final Nightmare bad. I'm talking Jaws the Revenge bad. I'm talking Speed 2 Cruise Control bad.
Sharknado 2.
Dan, you remember The Mask with Jim Carrey?
Yep.
Okay, you remember Son of the Mask with Jamie Kennedy?
No.
Nobody else does because it was that fucking bad. That's what yesterday was. Holy shit, just when you think it couldn't get any worse, it did. Dan, the Chargers, in embarrassing fashion in all facets of the game, much as we were talking about on the live show on Saturday. The things that we said that you couldn't allow the Washington Commanders to do, the Los Angeles Chargers did. More uncharacteristic mistakes.
Or characteristic.
More untimely, possibly so, more untimely penalties. Defense letting you down in big situations. Offense letting you down in big-time situations. Losing the turnover battle once again. Dan, as of right now, this Chargers team is a mess. But how are you?
Quite the intro. I'm good. I'm recovered from a weekend full of travel with toddlers and babies and airports and cars and all that jazz. Great.
Maybe you should have stayed in Boise.
Should have stayed, honestly. Yeah, the Chargers clearly didn't travel back to SoFi, that's for sure. Yeah, things are a mess, though, for this Chargers team. And unfortunately, like the theme has kind of remained the same the last 2 weeks, right? Like it's them beating themselves, uncharacteristic or characteristic penalties, inopportune times for the worst things to happen. But this one, honestly, I feel maybe a little bit better than I did the Giants game. One, because I didn't have to watch it live.
You didn't watch it live.
Didn't have to watch it live. But two, and I don't think I am the Justin Herbert apologist, but like this one didn't really seem on him. Like anyone who watched that game,
no,
he is like the furthest thing from the problem of this team than you can imagine. And in short, going back and watching it fresh, the team let him down, man. The team just let him down. From top to bottom, from Joe Ortiz to Jim Harbaugh to Greg Roman, Jesse Minter to his folks playing aside from him on both sides at times. It was just a letdown. And what started in New York continued in LA. And you heard some boos at SoFi, deservedly so.
Well deserved.
And we'll get into this, Jake. The hotline was, as the kiddos call it, Liddy City.
That's what the kids call it? Jesus,
I'm
really getting old. I always thought you were going to say fire, which has, been a normal term, but Liddy City, that's a new one for me. Okay.
3-2.
I just aged the fuck out of myself. Let's go to work. Let's go.
Or maybe I did. 323-902-7586. I think this is a therapy session, right?
Oh, it will be. It will
folks coming here for some back-breaking analysis. Like, I don't know if this is going to be it for you, but emotions for sure. And this was, again, one of those days, right? And this was less about like bad day in the office and more about, in my opinion, just like what can go wrong will go wrong at the worst possible time. Some of it self-inflicted, some of it bad luck, some of it the other team gets paid too, but it all happened. We'll get to it. Jake, before we get to these voicemails, let's talk about our friends over at Sleeper before we go through this sleeper of a game for this Chargers team. But don't you worry, Chargers fans. We've got your emotions on speed dial.
Yeah, sleep. That's what I wish I was yesterday afternoon. The NFL season is here, which means you now have a chance to win up to 1,000 times your cash on daily fantasy football with Sleeper. Football has never been more exciting than it is right now with players like Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Justin Jefferson, etc. Pick on these stats for these stars like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, fantasy points, and more for up to 1,000 times payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right and you could win big. Just use the promo code Chargers LAFB. And you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operating in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today.
Jake, things were starting off okay, right? Like that first quarter felt pretty good. They go up 10-0. The offense was coming. You saw Justin sling it. You saw Justin with the legs, a 44-yard scamper. You saw him run it more later. You saw Quentin get involved. Omarion Hampton's looking good. You see Lad getting the touchdown. I mean, things are looking good. 10-0 on the run. They got the ball again. They're going down to score. And the whole thing seemed to start unraveling with the unfortunate Quentin Johnston fumble. Insane. Instead of going up possibly 17-0, 13-0, it becomes 10-7. Fumble was brutal. You saw two easy touchdown runs to the outside. Jake, you and I were talking about that earlier today. Again, I'm kind of giving the quick version of this.
Yep.
You saw penalties start to rack up, negate some explosive plays. There was one time back-to-back explosive plays. Passes to Quentin and to Keenan were taken off the board because of penalties. Chargers are still trying to weather the storm, right? The defense does what they can, right? 4th and 2 for the Chargers offense. They're driving. What the hell happens? Tyler Conklin drops it. The drive ends. McNichols breaks the Tar Heel still tackle. 3rd and long on a random check down. Ends up going down for the first. Then the Chargers defense rises, right? Tyler Tart forcing the fumble, getting the ball back to the offense in midfield. You think, oh man, here we go. Chargers offense, great drive, great response. You see 3rd down conversions, some catches, some crucial throws by Justin, only to end in a tipped pass in the end zone for interception. Trying to get to Keenan, doesn't happen. Then the defense immediately implodes to ice the game, down 20-10. Again, that drive was to cut it to 1 score. The defense then implodes, starts off at their own end zone of the Commanders. They go right down the field, drive all the way down, seal it for a touchdown with like about a minute left, icing it 27-10. Quick overview was that, Jake, but Chargers fans were in their feelings. Do I even need to ask how you were feeling?
No. And Dan, as I told you, it just when you think it couldn't get any worse, it got worse. Like when the game was over, you didn't think it could get any worse. It still got worse. And I'm about to deliver even worse news right now because we got the news after the game yesterday that Omarion Hampton was leaving the game in a walking boot. It was just reported by Daniel Popper that officially Omarion Hampton is now going on IR. He will miss the next 4 games. Your running game is now Hassan Haskins and Kamani Vidal. Buckle up. and pray to every god possible for number 10.
Well, that was news to me. Thanks for that. I just
when you think you get it, I feel like I'm going to say that fucking phrase about 12 more times throughout the course of this show.
All right, well,
Dan, but to get back to your original question, you asked me, it's like, my feelings on it. I'm going to keep it simple, stupid. I'm actually going to rip the line from Cam Ward that he said at his press conference last week. If we keep it in a buck, we ass. This team played like ass yesterday. They played like ass in New York. And to be perfectly honest, again, you felt better because the best way to get that taste out of your mouth was to go back home and get back in the win column, and you didn't do that. You look even worse. You add more injuries to the list. And then you start asking yourself, where do we go from here? Because this is no longer an aberration. One of the biggest criticisms that we have had from this team going all the way back to training camp, preseason, was the offensive line. Now, first 2 weeks of the season against Kansas City and the Las Vegas Raiders, this offensive line was actually a strength of this team. Performed better than we thought those first 2 weeks. And then came week 3 against the Denver Broncos, which amazingly, all things considered, that you lost the turnover battle. You turned it over twice. You allowed Justin Herbert to get pummeled 5 times, God knows how many other pressures. You still found a way to win that game, so you still find yourself 3-0. But the blueprint for opposing defenses was there. And boy, oh boy, have the New York Giants and Washington Commanders absolutely exploited it. And Dan, it's not so much the offensive line anymore because now you got more problems. You used to think to yourself, well, defensively, we can lean on Jesse Minter and everybody else to make a stop, get Justin Herbert another opportunity. No. The last 2 weeks have not looked like a Jesse Minter-led defense whatsoever. Definitely not a team in general that is coached by Justin Herbert. And the cherry on top, special teams. Whether we're talking kickoff returns, running into the kicker yesterday on a 4th and 15 play that allows Washington to go down, continue the drive, and ultimately end up getting a touchdown. Uncharacteristic penalties and mistakes by this team over the last 2 weeks. Where the hell did this come from? We have so many more questions than answers than we did 3 weeks ago when this team was essentially 3-0.
I mean, and it's only getting worse at this point.
It's only getting worse.
The Chargers are down their top 2 tackles right now. Their top 2 running backs are gone. Their linebacker 2, as of today, apparently is coming off of IR, but is opening the window to come off IR.
21-day window for Denzel Perryman.
They're relying on Kamani Vidal, Hassan Haskins at this point. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about him. We're not going to talk about him.
Would have been really nice for a guy named Rocket to still be on this roster.
The idea of protecting Justin Herbert right now is literally just a hope. And Chargers fans are upset. And
Rightfully
they
so.
are targeting their frustrations all over the place. So, Jake, let's get to these voicemails. We got a lot of them. Again,
Yeah.
this is the therapy Monday. And, dude, the Omarion Hampton news just freaking sucks, man.
It blows.
Like, that was the one thing you're like, all right, well, maybe they could weather the storm.
You could hang your hat on that. He had been performing very, very well over the last 2 weeks. And that was essentially your safeguard to take pressure off of Justin Herbert when you have a torn up offensive line.
How are you gonna how are you gonna fix this? All right, cool. Let's put the ball in the hands of Justin Herbert. Cool. He has 2.1 seconds to throw. And there's only so much those weapons can do. But you're literally hoping to just put the cape on from the jump and hoping he can deliver. And even when he delivers, you're hoping the guys can catch it. You're hoping the guys can block. You're hoping the guys can not get flagged for a penalty. You're hoping that somebody can work with him. Next up, Jake, let's get to these voicemails. Let's just roll through these. All right, Jake, first voicemail.
Jake, Dan, Fort Collins, Bolt here, halftime of the game.
Oh, Fort Collins.
Halftime.
Roman, great play calling. Defense isn't playing all that bad. Frickin' Quentin Johnston, get down in traffic. He makes me nervous every time. He's running upright like Eric Dickerson used to, even though Dickerson was amazing. And don't get anywhere near the freaking punter. You should have mass protection going on for the return on that. Just, it doesn't make any sense. Just total stupidity. Anyways, they need to ball up second half and get this win. More guys are hurt. This is frickin' MASH unit. Anyways, bolt up.
Jake.
I hope you call. I hope another one of your voicemails is in here that you call after the game because, that was, at that point in time, that was 10 unanswered points by the Commanders.
They're just getting started.
They just went on to score another 17 unanswered and finish the game after that. Dan, it's...
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah. The Quentin play was so unfortunate because, first of all, it was a laser
great
throw by Justin Herbert on that second down play. And again, the Chargers at that point in time were in rhythm. It was looking like the Chargers that we had seen through the first 2 weeks offensively. You were able to move the ball. You were doing it against the 27th ranked pass defense in the league.
You're in plus territory. You're about to get to the 20.
And then
minimum 13-0.
Much like Derwin James had talked about after the game yesterday, momentum swings in both directions. Whereas one thing can be a catalyst for things that are good, and one thing can be a catalyst for just things that are bad. And for the Chargers, it was just became one bad thing after another. The Marlowe Wax running into the kicker situation that negated a amazing return by Lad McConkey on the punt return, which again would have still put the Chargers up at that point 17-7 if that ended up playing out. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And again, that's just taking into account what that caller had witnessed at that point in time for just the first half. Oh boy, I feel for you. If you were that pissed off at halftime, you're not going to be happy for that second half.
Next voicemail.
Fort Collins, Bolt, 3.5 minutes left. Only reason.
There it is. There it is. He called back.
TV off is because I pray to the God, Lord Jesus, he does not put Herbert back in. If he does, just hand the ball off and run the clock out.
Well, they did that. They didn't hand the ball off, but they put Trey Lance in.
Yeah, how did that go?
I mean, not that they wouldn't have won the game anyways, but what, he goes in and Von Miller gets him and gets another sack for the game. Woohoo!
Nobody circled the wagons.
No.
I don't want him getting hurt. Just pathetic. I don't even recognize this team. They're tackling. It looks like versus the Raiders when they got beat by 58 points. Anyways, guess we'll hope for a wild card at best now.
Honestly, Dan, that last part.
We're not even talking about playoffs right now.
We're not talking about playoffs right now because I'll say this. This Chargers team right now is not beating Denver when they meet them again. They are not beating Kansas City when they meet them again.
They may not be the Dolphins when they meet them next week.
They may not be the Dolphins. They may not be the Colts 2 weeks from now.
Again, you're going up against the Dolphins team that's got
problems that are outside of injuries. But what pisses me off, and that's probably why that pisses me off. You look at the example, the Baltimore game yesterday, just getting absolutely trounced by Houston. You saw the injuries that they had going in that they listed before that game for all the players that were out. A lot of people could say, like, okay, because of that, like, that's a lot of people out.
I mean, again, the Chargers, the biggest issue they have is their two top tackles, arguably the most important positions other than the quarterback, are out. I'm not giving an excuse, but like,
not an excuse.
you see teams that are hampered by injury
Correct.
overcome. And I'm not even saying that they win, but they make it look better than that.
To your point, you've known that you were going to be without those tackles since preseason. You just lost your other tackle last week. Scheme it. Figure it out. Good coaches and coordinators figure it out. Now, I will say...
But again, this is the problem with this game, though, honestly, is like, I don't know how much of this was... and I'm not a Greg Roman apologist, but like, think about it, right? They get down... Greg Roman can't predict Quentin fumbling that, right? That's one possession. That's one possession. Hold on. That's one possession. Greg Roman can't predict Justin Herbert's tip pass in the end zone. That's another one. Like, Greg Roman can't fix the special teams blunder that was another touchdown, right? Like, just take those 3 plays alone. Never mind the back-to-back explosives negated in that third quarter. Like, the Chargers game plan, again, he can't expect Omarion Hampton to get tripped on a 4th down play. You can't expect Tyler Conklin to not know where the hell he is or know how to catch a ball at some point.
Call a timeout.
Like, it's hard for me to blame Greg Roman for this because, like, this is like catastrophic bad luck, bad play, bad execution.
It's both, because to your point, and where I was going with it is, it's not Greg Roman's fault that Bobby Wagner is coming in absolutely free, untouched, to just wallop Justin Herbert.
Now, granted, that's on a screen.
Still.
And
the
screen didn't even go off. It was like
that happened twice where he came in completely untouched.
But it was like, again, that was one of those, what can go wrong will go wrong when it is least beneficial for you.
I think it's just from the standpoint, Dan, of, again, you look at that Giants team that you had to play, and even when it came down to it, the Chargers were still in a position to win that game.
Yep.
To their credit, for everything that was going wrong, they still fought tooth and nail, mistakes aside, turnovers aside, sacks allowed aside. You were still in a position to win that game.
To me, the fight in this game went until that last defensive drive. The touchdown that was not a touchdown, that turned into an interception to Keenan, that was tipped. That ensuing defensive drive, over. Like, that's when the game was over.
Yeah. See,
sure,
I was getting mentally checked out way before that, because it's to go from the first quarter where you have a 10-point lead, where the Chargers have found themselves in that position plenty of times early on in the season and playing their style of football. And this is probably where my biggest criticism comes into it, Dan. But then one thing goes wrong, and it's not just offensively, defensively. You're not able to adapt. There has to be punch counter punch that goes on. You have to be able to find a way to overcome mistakes.
Agreed.
What have we said about Jesse Minter as far as, being able to adapt and figure things out? I don't recognize this Jesse Minter defense last 2 weeks.
The last drive defensively, I got nothing, right? Like, that team looked like it was defeated. And I think that team knew as soon as that Keenan Allen tip ball to Keenan Allen turned into an interception and they get like one first down, like, it's a wrap. There's no way. Capped off by the 4th and goal moonshot.
Yes.
Like,
again, I'm not solely placing the blame on one person, because the blame is collective to go around.
But I cannot put it on Justin. But that's the difference. There were times in that Giants game where I can point to Justin and be like, dude, like, that's a bad look. Like, you're going to get shit for this. Anyone who gives Justin shit for this game, including the interception, wasn't watching and is just there to rage bait, because this was not on him. I mean, at one point, he was like 16 for 18 or something crazy. And the team was, I think, tied. He was throwing it everywhere it needed to be. I mean, the throw to Conklin was a 4th down conversion. That should have been caught. The throw to Quentin, that was getting them down to the 25-yard line to go up at least 13-0. There's a throw later on to Keenan Allen. That was a dime just out of bounds. Keenan caught it, but it was just out of bounds. Justin is doing what Justin's supposed to do. There's a couple plays that he could have back, but like that didn't turn into nothing or catastrophic. It was just like, what can go wrong goes wrong. And it just like, call it snake bitten. Sure, the injuries didn't help. Yeah, Jesse Minter's defense kind of let it go at the end. But again, like you saw this Chargers offense go down the field, right? Quentin Johnston turnover. Go down the field. Turnover on downs in that fourth down to Conklin. Go down the field and respond. Turns it into an interception in the end zone. Like they responded, but at the complete self-inflicted, just you can't make that shit up. Jake got a ton of voicemails. Real quick.
Yeah, go
Let's
ahead.
get some of these. Not listening to that one. Next. Sorry, kids.
Jake Danforth, Collins Bolt. It is not Herbert's fault. One.
There you go. So three straight voicemails.
Anybody who says that on these stupid-ass morning shows, they don't watch games.
Whoa. Hey, Jinx.
The line's horrible. He has no time. Conklin, can you just leave the effing country? He sucks. Just blew it again. Blew last week as well, too, with that basically tripping McConkey for the pick. This is just pathetic.
Well, yes.
Dan,
All of that.
That's kind of where I was going before we played that last one. These are the mistakes that we have not come to know from a Jim Harbaugh coached team, both offensively and defensively. Namely, that one play that the caller was talking about, the 4th and 2 play, where literally there's only 10 people on the field. Keenan Allen's waving his hands to the sidelines, going, "What the hell? We can't even call the play yet, and we're like down to 15 seconds on the play clock." Conklin comes running in. They're rushing the play. They still have 2 timeouts on the clock. Now, hey, I am all for preserving timeouts, but in that particular situation, call a timeout. Don't rush that play. Yes, was it Conklin's fault getting in there late? Yes, it was. Should it have been the coaching? Fine. I would have been fine with any offensive lineman just stopping and turning to the official saying timeout. Like, we are not ready for this play. And sure enough, it goes off. They hurry it up. Conklin's not ready for it because Herbert has to fire a laser once again because he's getting pressured. And, of course, it's right there for him to catch. No, not successful. Flip side of that, Daiyan. This was the best offensive output for the Washington Commanders rushing in this game, much like it was for a lot of different things with the Giants last week. And defensively, it was their best performance. Dan, going into this game, the Washington Commanders had 1 turnover. They got 2 in this game. It is turning into that old phrase that I used to talk to you about on this show, where it's take the weakest element of the opposing football team, that element is going to shine against the Los Angeles Chargers. And why am I saying this? Because the Miami Dolphins just rushed for their lowest output in 10 years. They rushed for 19 yards against the Carolina Panthers. I guarantee you they're going to rush for more than 19 yards against the Los Angeles Chargers next week.
Oh, we are just getting started. 323-902-7586 is the number of the hotline. Next voicemail.
First off, if anyone puts any blame on Justin Herbert, we want to tell them to shut their mouth. This has nothing to do with him. This O-line is dreadful.
Yep.
And Ortiz not doing a thing to address it. And when journalists like Pop ask a nice question about it, with the rude responses, you can tell he's full of himself. And Conklin, get rid of him, please. He has done nothing but cause turnovers. As long as this O-line and their lack of tight end play is on, they're not going to win another game.
Okay, hold on. So, a couple things here. We'll table this for a second. Put a pin in it. You're starting to see a theme here about Ortiz.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that in a second. It is unfortunate. Tyler Conklin has now been involved in 2 back-breaking plays that has cost this team severely. I like Oronde Gadsden.
Oh, we know you do.
I'd like to see more of him. And honestly, I like Tyler Conklin, but what the hell?
You're really missing Will Disley these last 2 games. You're really missing him. Dan, how many times did you watch the Commanders in the limit? I mean, I know you weren't watching it live, but you just go back and you watch the limited highlights. Watch how many of the Commanders are rushing. They're getting home with 4. And they're able to consistently drop back 7 into coverage every time. And Justin Herbert is getting absolutely destroyed. Once again, you're cycling through offensive linemen because Mekhi Becton's going in and out of the game here with a hand injury. Tre Pipkins is going in and out. Jabari Sawyer is coming in to rotate, which, again, we didn't even know what the left tackle situation was going to be like for the Chargers heading into this game. It was good that Mekhi Becton obviously came back because you needed him, but at the same point in time, you had to rotate Jamari Sawyer in there. Foster Sorrell ended up seeing action at some point. Like, you're going to have a different offensive line combination this coming week. I hope. And I say I hope because it can't get any worse than it's been the last 2 weeks. Because clearly, coaching isn't fixing this. Personnel isn't fixing this. So you have to do something to make a change, to wake something up, to try to see if something else is going to stick. Honestly, because it can't get any worse.
Stop, don't say that. Don't you dare say that.
I'm talking about offensive line getting worse.
Okay.
I'm not talking about the big picture thing. I'm just talking about the offensive line. It can't get any worse than what we've seen the last 2 weeks.
Instead of like weather the storm, it's like we are the storm, it's weather the storm, and now it's just like
now it's like board the windows because a goddamn hurricane category 5 is coming.
I mean, think about this. Like this is a perfect storm. Like this is the movie.
Yeah, that was a somber movie with a bad ending.
Most important thing for this team to succeed is to protect Justin Herbert. Well, you lost your offensive line, tackle 1, tackle 2. The free agent you brought in has been in and out of the lineup for injury. You're down to the 2 guys that you were arguably wanting the least. You're down to like tackle 3 and 4. Tre Pipkins gets hurt for a bit. The 2 running backs who have never missed a game in their life, basically, are now out for the season. One's on IR, of course, right? Of course. Like, where is the solution other than Justin and the pass catchers putting the cape on? Like, it's literally in Justin, we hope, to pull a rabbit out of his hat, the biggest rabbit he's ever had. And now there are 2 games in a row where the script is there. And now there's no running game. So, like, where is the solution? Next voicemail, 323-902-7586. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's John again. Yeah, panic button time.
Oh, we talked about this last week.
The dreaded P word.
It's panic button time. Herbert has no time to throw. His O-line can't protect it. Another tip ball interception.
Sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is Groundhog Day. This is all of us every week last year.
Yeah, dog. We went from dog crap to dog shit.
Now we know what this is.
Oh my God, I don't even have the words to say right now.
Next voicemail.
Yeah, I'm just curious. When could we fucking ship the entire offensive line to Guantanamo Bay? Also, can we fucking fire Joe Ortiz and Greg Roman at the same time?
Here we go.
Please let me know in the next episode of when they're possibly gone. Thank you.
Okay, let me answer that. Let's talk about the Joe Ortiz stuff right now. Okay. First of all, Joe Ortiz is not getting fired. Okay. Anybody who is expecting that to happen, I'm sorry to disappoint you in that circumstance. It took the Chargers a decade to get rid of Tom Telesco. Do you think that they're going to get rid of Joe Ortiz in less than 2 years? No. As it relates to Joe Ortiz, Dan, you and I have talked about this ad nauseum as it relates to the offensive line situation, and we're talking going back to free agency and the draft, most notably. You go out, you get Mekhi Becton, which was a big signing at the time. You felt a lot better from that standpoint in terms of coming in and replacing that spot at right guard. You go out and you get Andre James, which I'll get to that in a minute in terms of what I would like to see. And I had the impression that after that Houston game, you were not going to run this situation back with the same interior offensive line, save for Mekhi Becton, that you saw get absolutely trucked in the playoffs. Not only did you, but you considered a guy who has never played the center position in his life, and you gave him consideration at that position throughout the preseason. That lasted about maybe 2 weeks until you made the final decision to go back to Bradley Bozen. Now, again, I will go back to the first 2 weeks of the season because none of us were talking about this at that point in time. Why? Because the offensive line was actually a strength for this team. Justin Herbert had time. Justin Herbert was able to sit back in the pocket, watch things develop, and if he wanted to, could pick running lanes to keep drives alive. The past 3 weeks have now become such a bad trend to where the offensive line is the biggest weakness of this team that opposing defenses. Dan, remember the stats on Justin Herbert when you say how good he is against opposing defenses that blitz him? Opposing defenses are no longer afraid to blitz Justin Herbert. Why? Because they can get through with 4. Why? Because they know that they can get there fast enough to where Justin Herbert's not going to have enough time to make a play. Why?
They get through with 4. Imagine 5 or 6.
Exactly. But you could blitz on every single down if you wanted to and think, I have a better chance of getting home, causing a bad play, causing a turnover than Justin Herbert has of making one. And I will go with that hot hand right now. I will go with those chances because right now those chances are good. That is a winning formula for a defense. And that's not something that historically you would say about Justin Herbert, given the fact that he's been so good against the blitz. But you can't do that anymore. It's that bad with this offensive line. So we can try to rewind time as much as possible to say, was it quarterback malpractice to hear Jim Harbaugh and Joe Ortiz up at that podium after the season was over, after that loss to Houston, where they were taking responsibility themselves and saying that they failed Justin Herbert? And yes, you go out and get Mekhi Becton, and yes, you sign Andre James, who has up to this point been your backup center. But should you have done more? Maybe. Whether that was through free agency or the draft. Now, I said this on yesterday's Spaces. I personally think that the last 2 drafts that Joe Ortiz has put forth have been very, very good. And we're still talking about it in a limited capacity, only 5 games into the season for this particular rookie class.
And again,
I know
2 weeks ago, it couldn't have been more opposite than this.
Yes, we weren't talking about this. And this is after Rashawn Slater. We already know that he's gone for the season. Kansas City Chiefs, this offensive line was solid. Against the Raiders, it was great. But the Denver Broncos have come in and put the blueprint on tape to absolutely demolish this offensive line and to put forth the game plan for opposing defenses moving forward.
I mean, Houston did last year, if we're going to be honest.
Yes. And so I know I was talking about this yesterday. Anybody expecting Joe Ortiz to go out there and make a trade for a big-time offensive lineman, look, I hate to be the one that's going to tell you this, but it's not going to happen because opposing teams are not going to part ways with good offensive linemen because they know how valuable they are. So unfortunately, you got to work with what you have, or you have to change your offensive line combination, And this is where I will chime in now on Andre James. Maybe it's time to change at the center position. Because, like I just said, what do you got to lose at this point when your offensive line is playing this bad?
Only your franchise quarterback.
Thanks, Dan. I wasn't thinking that, but you're absolutely right. Next voicemail.
I have no idea what Jim Harbaugh is doing every day during. Never mind.
Is it on mute?
I have no idea what Jim Harbaugh is doing every day during. Never mind.
I feel you.
You crumple a bunch of words up in there and say some weird things. And
next voicemail.
Hi guys, this is Mike in Missouri, and oh yeah, another great one. I tell you,
I don't think there's any sarcasm.
what the team reminds me of a team coached by Brandon Staley. Okay, so I don't know what Jim's doing. I'm not sure what his approach is, but sloppy, and just when they looked like they were doing something right, then they would screw up. I mean, I didn't watch the whole game. I couldn't stand it. And anyway, that's what I think. You've got a lot of work to do. Maybe we can salvage a wild card. Who knows?
Dan, I dropped that name last week, and you told me it's like, whoa, pump the brakes, sir. Let's not go that far, dropping the old BS on this particular show. Dan, defensively?
Again, it was that last drive where it looked like they quit, but
defensively? And again, not to call it an exact one-to-one comparison, because we've known since the beginning of the season the Chargers have been susceptible to giving up the big play. You did that right after the running into the kicker penalty and giving new life to the Commanders. 2 plays later, they chuck it down the field.
I mean, the defense
get a 40-yard gain.
Chunk plays,
yes.
Missed tackles galore.
And then you give up a huge one where there's no containment outside on the screen to JCM. Terrible. Both of his rushing touchdowns, there was no containment anybody out there on the edge. I mean, there was nobody within 5 yards of him by the time that he got to the end zone. It looked that bad. And again, as much as we want to talk about it, and I'm sure with all of the calls that are going to be coming in here on the hotline as it relates to either Joe Ortiz or the offensive line, Ryan Fitkin, I don't want to be in his locker room right now. I could only imagine, because that's not indicative of a Ryan Fitkin-led special teams.
And think about this. Through all of that, imagine if that special teams touchdown happens. They're up 17-7.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next voicemail, Jake. Got a lot of these.
What the fuck did I just watch? This is, I'm sending all this hours after my watch, I guess. I can't even say words. Like, I can't even think because this fucking team, bro. Just, that O-line killed us. These injuries are killing us. Do we have to change something? Take out Bozeman, put Andre James in, do something. They're saying that Bozeman's a captain or whatever. Well, put Andre James in and give Bozeman a freaking water bottle, have him trot out to him and give some captainly advice, sit his ass back on the bench. Fuck.
Dan, we talked about this leading up to this game because people were clamoring for Andre James to go in after the New York Giants game. And because we didn't even know who the left tackle was going to be, Jim Harbaugh talked about, well, we thought about Mekhi Becton there. We thought about Jamari Salyer there. And they chose to still go the same left tackle that they went against the Giants in Austin Deculus. It's okay. You had at least that problem decided. And we were saying, well, it may not be the best thing because if you're trying to sort out your left tackle problem, maybe you don't want to switch your center in the same week and have so many changes. Dan, I'm kind of over that fucking idea, to be perfectly honest. If it's me and it was my decision in terms of what to go, now here's the hard part, because let's just say Jamari Sawyer started at left tackle for this game. Eventually, at some point, he was going to be moving back to right guard because Mekhi Becton was in and out of this game. So that wouldn't have lasted very long. But if it's me, an ideal situation moving forward and not guaranteeing any better production, but just from the standpoint to say, hey, this coaching staff is going to try something different, I would put Jamari Sawyer at left tackle, Daiyan Johnson at left guard, Andre James at center, Mekhi Becton at right guard, Trey Pipkins at right tackle, and then pray to the gods that everybody stays healthy. For the immediate future until Joe Alt returns, that's what I would try to do. And again, I'm not even guaranteeing more success. I'm simply doing it just for this coaching staff to say, show me that you're trying everything that you can. And everything meaning everything. Changing the personnel on your own team in terms of the lineup to try to keep your quarterback alive.
Next voicemail.
Dan, Jake.
Ready for this? Ready for this?
Okay, so last week, we all heard it. And Jim Harbaugh, we trust. Everyone has a bad day in the office. This is a show me week.
Totally.
He will right the ship.
Yeah.
No way the Chargers are losing this one.
This is it to you.
Buckle up.
Dan, I just wanted to say this. You cursed us with your bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
It's my fault now.
It's your fault.
It's my fault.
PTSD. We have not been the same. Stop rooting for the Chargers.
So it's Dan Wolkenstein's fault. He's in the GM seat. He's in the head coach's seat. He's in the player team meetings. He's throwing the football. He's running the football. He's playing defense. He's playing special teams. It's all Dan Wolkenstein's fault. You heard it first here on Chargers Unleashed.
How the mighty have fallen. Do you remember how big Theo's chest was after the 3-0 start?
Damn.
I mean, he was Donkey Kong at some point. He was just going. And 2 weeks later, here we are.
The other thing I wanted to say, I'm sick and tired of Joe Horty's bullshit, not spending the money, not fixing the offensive line out.
He was just talking about this.
You weren't saying that 2 weeks ago going into that Giants game. You weren't
Nope.
saying anything about that going into this Washington Commanders game.
14-3, baby. Still possibility. 14-3 was a fear.
It's time for John Spano to pull the fucking trigger and fire his ass after the season.
Not gonna
Where
happen.
were you 2 weeks ago?
Not gonna happen. I'm sorry to tell you, it ain't gonna happen.
Whether my coach like it or not, I don't give a fuck. This is my last time I am calling on the show. I will not call again anymore until next year.
Whoa, that's big. I swear to God, the next time that the Chargers win, if he calls. Oh, man.
I hate to see you go, Thier. That's unfortunate.
Thier is officially torpedoed.
He is
I
in
will not call the remainder of the year until next year.
Because it's my fault. That's
right. It's all your fault. And I can't wait. I can't wait to hear him call next year when Joe Ortiz is still the GM of this team next year.
Dear Chargers fans, I am so sorry that I did this to you.
Again. Do you remember how long this team stuck with its previous GM?
2 weeks ago, you were loving him.
Come on. He is not going to fire Joe Ortiz after a year and 5 games.
darkness, my old friend.
Next voicemail, Jake.
Unbelievable. I'm still trying to figure out what I just witnessed. Complete shit show.
Mm-hmm.
The O-line looked like a pile of fat pigs with Down syndrome waiting to be...
Oh, man.
fed.
I was waiting for one. I was like, what is someone going to come up with on this particular show?
No.
We ate nothing but dog crap last week, but this one.
Hold my beer.
Damn.
Treadmill till they collapse. I feel sorry for Herbert. He better start wearing a diaper. Because every time he looks up at the defense coming at him, he's ready to shit his pants. Special teams, turnovers, tackling, drop passes, coaches. We're in trouble, boys. They should have kept their final 3 timeouts just to avoid all the rest of the embarrassment they're going through out there. We need to spend all of our money on defensive line and all 6 draft picks on the O-line in this offseason. That's all I got, man.
I'm just gonna go. Hold on. I'm just gonna go right to the next myself because we got so many of these. I'm sure we got more.
It's John again, and Mr. Panic Button here. After now seeing the news with Hampton and a boot,
fresh.
I don't think I'll ever be able to watch another Chargers game this season. I can't. Because I don't want to see what we'd look like without Hampton out there now.
We're gonna have to.
Yeah, you're
gonna be like eyes peeled. It's like a torture.
Your running game plan that you came into this season with is already gone 5 games into the season. You lost Najee Harris on a fluke Achilles tear. And now you just lost your rookie running back to an ankle sprain for the next 4 weeks.
We don't even know if it's a sprain.
I think that's what they were talking about, Dan, because when
no one talked about it.
Well, when they had Haskins in there in that 4th down in the drive where they were going down to ultimately turn the ball over, they were saying on the announcers that they were taping up, like Omarion Hampton's in the locker room getting taped up. The other thing that's indicative of this,
there's no way but I'm saying there's no way that's a sprain if he's on IR.
We were talking about the possibility of Joe Alt going on short-term IR because of a high ankle sprain as well.
Those are different injuries. Those are different injuries.
Yes, they are. But the other stat that that was indicative was some point, I can't remember what, it may have been, I think it was like in the early 3rd quarter. Omarion Hampton ends up getting like positive yardage for like a 4-yard run, battling off of tacklers that are meeting him in the backfield. Like it was actually an impressive run. And then you hear the commentator says like, Omarion Hampton just doesn't go down. He's just, you can't count him. And then Brady actually chimes in with a very smart remark to say, I think that's more of a offensive line statistic, that it's not a good thing that your running back is getting clocked in the backfield repeatedly, even if he's able to gain positive yards out of it. And then sure enough, 25 minutes later, you start seeing Hassan Haskins out there in the final offensive drive for the game.
We are talking about a Chargers offensive line that had Joe Alt, Mekhi Becton, and Rashawn Slater. And it has fallen to this.
Fuck. Now your running backs are gone.
Hey guys, it's Raimundo from San Diego. Ray from San Diego. God. Rough fucking day.
Jesus.
I am beyond drunk.
Low-key, that might be the epitome of the entire Chargers fan base right now.
One too many tequila shots. Definitely one too many shroom hits.
Oh, man. He went to full bore. He went tequila and shrooms. Holy shit. Talk about a bad Sunday afternoon. Trying everything I can to make it better.
Balls. We lost. But you know what? I was so upset earlier. I got over it because,
He's over it.
No, obviously play the rest of his voicemail. I want to hear what he has to say, try to answer anything.
And, you know who lost today? The fucking Bills. The Denver Broncos. So you know what, man? I'll take that and smoke it. Okay. We're gonna be alright. The fucking donkeys beat the Bills.
Yet somehow the Broncos beat the Eagles. Maybe one less tequila shot for you next time.
And the Bills lost to the Patriots.
Riddle me that. All right? Let's go, boys. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Deb, please play back the
Good night.
You know what line I'm talking
Hey,
about.
guys. It's Raimundo.
We gotta figure out a way to take that and recycle it.
Hey, guys. It's Raimundo from San Diego.
Hey, guys.
God. I'm a fucking day. I am beyond drunk.
I am beyond drunk. Then he follows it up 2 seconds later to say, tequila shots and shrooms. My friend, I feel you. You had a day yesterday. Holy shit. But just as a reminder, the Broncos beat the Philadelphia Eagles.
You even begin. I mean, the Chargers suck again. Wouldn't you know it?
We suck again.
Look, Justin Herbert threw an interception because he forced a fucking throw into coverage. Where have I seen that before? This is the same shit, different toilet. Harbaugh fucking sucks. Hortz fucking sucks. The whole team fucking sucks. Fuck this team.
Wow.
All right, scary hours.
He is out of there faster than a theater is gone.
Next voicemail. Jeez.
I couldn't watch the game because I was working. So
You're one of the lucky ones, sir.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. This is how I feel like this is how I feel for most of our losses.
You know what? I feel like this needs to be reserved for people who watch the game.
No, we got to give it to him, Dan, because everybody is feeling it in a different way.
All right.
It's just not going there. By the way, next week, you come to the place where I play, and listen, the fans here, they hate their team's current situation. You hired Jim Harbaugh to make sure that you beat teams that you're supposed to beat. Now, after the Giants, don't let it happen again. I couldn't watch the game.
The last part is pretty much right.
Yep. Next voice.
Every team has a trap game. Every team has an off week. You just don't expect it to get worse, especially when they're coached by Jim Harbaugh and have Justin Herbert at quarterback.
Dan and Jake, I have my whiskey and I am
hot.
This
Yes.
is Jiggy J Bone. Get your mama running ass Smith.
Pause it. Rewind. What? Bring it back. What?
Dan and Jake, I have my whiskey and I am hot.
Fuck
this
yeah
is
for the whiskey.
Jiggy J Bone. Get your mama running ass Smith.
Jiggy J Bone. Get your mama.
I counted 8 in the name. Holy shit. That just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Clowns to sign somebody in the middle of a season. Unfortunately, they had $33 million that they went unspent that they should have signed on the O-line. Yet here we are in the middle of the season looking for trash clowns like 67 Foster Sorrell, Sam Mustafer, who nobody wants. We got Austin Deculus coming from the sorriest O-line in the league, ass Houston Texans, who are trading players away. Yet here we have our best player, Justin Herbert, running for his life, 10 points in the first quarter and can't score a fucking ass point after that. What the fuck ass is we doing in this middle of the season?
I would hate to, I hate to disappoint you. And again, I don't want to butcher your name, but to be perfectly honest, I can't remember it, so I definitely won't. But damn. Whiskey, yes. Hot take, yes. Some truth, also yes. Dan Wolkenstein.
Next voicemail.
Jake, Dan, St. Matthew. What's going on? I am calling, watching Sunday Night Football. I had to relax right now. I'm still upset, but I just want to take the time and just say to Justin Herbert, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry that this O-line sucks. It's horrible. And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of people, especially in national media, going to say, oh, Justin Herbert didn't do that. Justin Herbert didn't do that. And now they're going to give all the credits to Janie Daniels, And so, Justin Herbert, I love you, man. I'm sorry. And you don't get the credit. So that's all I got to say. I mean, right now, I'm not going to keep it long and stuff, but right now, I don't give a fuck anymore right now. I'm just fucking irritated. Joe Ortiz, you can kiss my ass. But I don't got to say anything. I mean, we'll hopefully beat the Dolphins next week, but I'm not too confident we'll see next week. But as always, love you guys. Both up.
Appreciate it.
This is
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Next voicemail?
I mean, I was actually going to say, I'm going to guess it's going to say something about the offensive line or fuck Joe Ortiz in this voicemail. I like my chances. I haven't heard one damn thing about the defense. I haven't heard one damn thing about some special teams. Maybe one thing about special teams, but I get it. It's like, damn, that just shows you, that's the focal point of the issue that we've been talking about for the last 3 weeks. It does not. We can fast forward to the last 12 games of this season. Mind you, the Chargers don't have their bye until week 12, also, which is really fucking sucks about this time of the year. Every single week, Dan, we're going to be talking about this as an issue until it corrects itself. And who is it going to be corrected by? Is it going to be corrected by the players themselves? Is it going to be corrected by coaching, game planning? People that are actually going to end up making a change? What's going to happen?
Brandon Thor just posted a tweet earlier about an hour ago. Just watch the Dolphins run defense in week 5 and with a crying in a faucet. Watch how good they look next week.
Exactly. Why? Because the Chargers, of course, don't have Omarion Hampton, but dude, Rico Dowdle torched them for 200 plus yards on the ground. And now you don't have your running back to lean into.
Watch. Just can't. The fact that this is what I have turned into over these past 5 years, where I am getting some level of enjoyment, and I have a smile on my face after this battle scars that we have been through, is downright miracle.
Look, I would be a hell of a lot more pissed off right now if I came into this cold and I hadn't had a conversation about this with somebody else. Dan, I jumped on Spaces on Twitter with about 4 minutes left because I couldn't watch the rest of that game. I knew that the Chargers weren't going to come back and win it. So I jumped on Spaces and I got a chance to talk to a lot of other Chargers fans. And you know what? It's times like these where it's like, when it's the worst of times and when you're pissed off, you just need to find someone to talk about it.
You just want to yell at something.
Honestly, first of all, it was great connecting with all of you. Secondly, after I got off of that, I just felt like this huge weight lifted off my shoulder. Not necessarily forgetting the problems, but shit, it was good to talk about it. And that's what this episode is today. As Dan said, this is a vent session. This is in some way therapy, but it doesn't make you forget about the problems moving forward because, Dan, we got many more weeks of football left. What the fuck is going to happen?
Insomnida, Dan and Jake. Here we are once again. We thought the Harbaugh magic was going to end this curse, the snake-bitten.
Nope, because of me.
All because of you, Dan, you asshole.
Curse.
You
But
did
no.
this.
Our line is just untenable. You cannot put out a professional football team of any players with that offensive line. Justin Herbert is going to die. And that's a bad thing, right? Can someone tell someone that, like, is a decision maker that is a bad thing? It's every single year. It's the same shit in our soup, and we just keep eating it.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to do, guys. I can't do this anymore. Chargers fan since the year 2000. It's taking years off my life.
Join the club.
Bolt up, baby!
Again, it's a little bit of a double-edged sword because 2 weeks into the season, we're talking about this offensive line being a strength. And when you watch that Giants game, even before Joe Alt goes down, that offensive line is piss poor. It's already going downhill one quarter into the game. You can see it.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. You can't predict losing Rashawn Slater. You can't predict losing Joe Alt. But how the hell do you fall down that much further at all four other offensive line positions? How does that happen? And Dan, also, I think it is just from the standpoint of the defensive scheme that you just go back and you watch that Bronco game. What Vance Joseph was able to dial up in terms of where they were bringing pressure, where they were finding the areas to penetrate the offensive line. Giants could drop back 7 every damn down on defense because their front four is going to get there. And they are stacked at defensive line. They are deep there. And you think to yourself, okay, well, you just played the 2 best defensive lines, arguably, in the league. You go to the Washington Commanders, and it's not nearly the level of depth or talent that the Denver Broncos or the New York Giants have, and they're still getting home with 4 and being able to drop 7 into coverage. You just played and lost to the 28th and 27th ranked pass defense in the league. What the hell, dude?
Oh, I think I'm hearing where this is going. Hold on.
Is
Wait
that Metallica?
for it. Wait for it.
Fuck yeah, whoever is jamming this.
Jeez, Metallica hit it on the nail, didn't they? Wow. I was at that game.
Oh,
that
I'm sorry.
Sucked. Yeah. That was brutal. Absolutely brutal. I got no notes. I got nothing to say. That was absolutely demoralizing. Yeah, this is just brutal. Brutal. Jesse Minter took a absolute crap burger, holding on the punt return by McConkey. Crap burger, took everything out of the building. That was no bueno. Offense was poo-poo. Everything was poo-poo. Oh, that's the absolute horror. Ah! Buns. The Chargers are buns. Bolt down.
For dog crap, we've heard dog shit. Now we're hearing absolute buns.
Dog doo-doo.
And man, you ever need to release some, inner anger? Yeah, you just jammed a Metallica. That'll do it. Dan, I'm bringing this up because Daniel Popper just tweeted this because there's been so much criticism of Bradley Bozeman. I'm not sure if you read about this because I know that you weren't watching the game live, but there was a second down play where the Chargers were driving and Justin Herbert is calling out for a certain protection. Bradley Bozeman decides to change the protection, and you can audibly hear Justin Herbert say no. And then the ball is snapped. Penetration comes. Justin Herbert sacked. So Daniel Popper just tweeted, Jim Harbaugh said that the pressure in this first quarter, which is the one I'm referencing, was the result of a missed assignment from Bradley Bozeman. Just for reference, just for people to say that there was acknowledgement and that there was no miscommunication as far as what actually happened on that play.
And you don't normally hear Harbaugh kind of call out players specifically like this.
He's not going to publicly rip players.
I mean, but that's as close as you're going to get.
That's probably as close as you're going to get. So if anybody wants to talk to him about giving some accountability outside of himself, which he knows that he's responsible for, there you go.
Next.
That was fantastic.
Is it on mute again? There we go. I heard it a second ago.
That was fantastic.
There we go.
Way back. After the, 7th time saying, wow, we are terrible, I was like, you know what? I need to switch it up. So I looked in the dictionary and I found some words that I'm going to share with you. We got appalling, atrocious, awful, dire, disastrous, dreadful, extreme, frightful, ghastly, gruesome, harrowing, hideous, horrible, and horrid. Yeah, that's how I felt. After the goal line interception, I just went to go mow the lawn, drink a beer.
Yes.
Yeah. Cure my pains. I'm not going to watch the highlights because they're all lowlights.
Don't. That's right.
On to the next week, boys. Let's go.
On to the next week.
Bring your thesaurus with you on Chargers Unleashed. Any possible word that you could say for how bad the Chargers looked yesterday, right there for you.
Next voicemail.
Fellas, it's Raymundo from San Diego. I saved up all my pennies. Kidding.
Oh, no.
I came up here to San Diego, or to LA, sorry, where the Chargers play, for this game. Super excited. A lot of alcohol, not everything in my cooler. Fear and Loathing Las Vegas, if you will. Everything else. And only to fucking be right now sitting in a bar, crushing the bar, with a loss. I'm sad. I don't know what to think about this. Really? So what's the Commanders? Yeah, apparently they're a good team. Or are they? Or did we make them a good team? Was this supposed to be a win for us? I am lost, drugged up, and I have to drive back to San Diego tomorrow.
Drive safely.
Seriously.
Stay hydrated.
I feel for you that you drove all the way up to LA to watch that.
Imagine, like, the people that paid for that.
Yeah.
Ugh. Last one, Jake.
Hey, boys. Crosby here. San Diego Chargers fan since birth. Hang in there. This one sucks. But that's a playoff caliber team that we just played. They showed it last year. We just had some trouble.
Are we ending this on a high note?
I'm sorry. We just had some trouble.
We got to get that offensive line fixed. We're gonna
just some minor details. Got to fix an offensive line.
We're gonna be just fine.
We're gonna be just fine. Omarion Hampton on IR. Yeah. We're gonna be just fine.
Just fine.
We still own the division.
Still own the division. Statistically, that is true. The Chargers still are in first place in the division against all odds.
They went from 2.5 games up to tie.
Anything else?
We're gonna be just fine.
Bolt up.
Okay.
TB. I'm sick of that guy announcing games. He should never announce games for us.
Who's talking about, Tom Brady?
TV, yep, Tom Brady.
I mean, look, he likes to think that he's the greatest gift that God ever created, but
Wait.
I will say there were some anecdotes that he dropped that were absolutely true.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's about it.
Bro, first of all, bless you for having that type of optimism after
that
watching
what I
this team
sounded like?
for the last 2 weeks. That's kind of what you sounded like, but maybe not as bad after seeing a product like that over the last 2 weeks. That's like taking your car into the auto body and saying, well, your radiator's gone. There's no more catalytic converter. Your oil pan is finished. Virtually, there's only a piece of the engine still hanging on. But you know what? We're going to make this thing drive.
Let's try this again.
We can sell this car. I guarantee you.
Oh, God. Look, where do we go from here? Honestly, who knows?
I don't know.
At this point, I got my popcorn because, like, nothing is going to surprise me anymore. Nothing. Like, literally, this was the show me game, and that's what they showed us.
That's what they showed?
That's what they showed. And here we are. Will I be shocked in the slightest if they come out, lay a deuce and lose again? No. Unfortunately, I'm not trying to be the pessimist.
No.
But I am going off of what my eyes have showed me.
What are they telling you?
I am not tethering myself to hoping anymore. I'm tethering it to the reality. And the reality is Justin Herbert just went through a game where he had 2.1 seconds per throw, or else he's getting pressure. He now has no tackle at starting. He now has no running back, aside from Hassan Haskins and Kamani Vidal. And they're, going to miraculously just fix all of that? If that's what you think will happen, that is because you are hoping. And that is it. There's nothing on film the last 2 weeks that will give you factual reason to believe that. And I'm not the guy that wants to say that, but damn it, here we are. You are going to have to rely on the cape being on from the jump. And that might not even be enough because guys still got to catch it. Guys still got to do the right thing. Guys still got to not absolutely shit the bed. Those penalties can't happen. You can't control everything. You can't play all 11 positions. You think people are pissed now? Watch what happens if they lose this week. Watch what happens if they get more injuries. Just watch. Just watch. I'm at this point, where do you go from here? I don't know. Like, I genuinely am going to sit back. Like, I had nothing. I got nothing. I have no idea. They could go out and absolutely beat the brakes off of them. Unlikely.
No.
Or they can go out there and absolutely lay an egg and get steamrolled by Tua Tagovailoa and a Tyreek Hill-less Miami Dolphins.
You just saw it happen against a scary Terry-less Washington Commanders.
Austin Eckler-less.
And the one fail-safe that you had, the one scheme that you had to go into this game, much as we were talking about with the Washington Commanders, was feeding Omarion Hampton. You don't have that anymore. And now you're going to tell me that going up against an edge group of Chubb and Phillips against possibly your fourth left tackle, depending on what type of combination they have going in there, against a banged-up right side of the offensive line, the way that Trey Pipkins is playing right now, Mekhi Becton battling a hand injury. God only knows if the Chargers will make a change at the center position. But that doesn't give me confidence because that, in the trenches, the Chargers have essentially, again, this just goes to the credit of Justin Herbert. How we were even saying it after that Denver Bronco game, it didn't make sense how the Chargers won that game, given everything that happened. But the last 2 weeks, have essentially ripped the Band-Aid off of what has been the wound and the problem for this team for the better part of 3 weeks. And it is right on the precipice of being greatly exposed. And if you don't think that it's quarterback malpractice now,
I would go as far as to say, if this continues, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody gets fired. And I'm not saying Jim Harbaugh, I'm not saying Joe Ortiz, but there will be someone to take answers to this. It's just, this is too much. Jay, we went through 24 voicemails today. And I don't know if I feel any better. I don't feel worse. Although, honestly, the Omarion Hampton news...
That's gut-wrenching right now. It's absolutely gut-wrenching.
It just sucks, dude. Like, it just sucks.
Touch on what Daniel Popper was talking about with that play highlight of Bradley Bozeman. Daniel Popper followed up on it because Harbaugh was saying that Bozeman is a good, productive player. Daniel Popper said, when asked about the play that he was referencing, Harbaugh said, we all have fingerprints to blame on this. Kept pressing again. When asked at what point do errors make a player not good or productive, Harbaugh said, when we feel that there is another player that can play better. Well, you're not going to know if you don't give it a try. You're not going to find out if Andre James is a better player than Bradley Bozeman during practice.
I mean, isn't he literally the worst ranked center in the NFL, according to PFF?
It's bad, Dan. It's really bad. I don't know how much more evidence, tape, or anything like that you need. Again, at this point in time, your offensive line can't play much worse than it's playing right now. Maybe just worth it to just throw crap at the wall and see what sticks at this point. It can't hurt. At least you're trying something.
Look, we've been through a lot over these past 5 years plus, I think 6 years now. But this says it all right here, man. You got Justin under duress. Guy by the last name Payne.
That's appropriate, isn't it?
This is too good. And the Chargers lose in blowout fashion. I'm honestly grateful that I did not watch that live.
You would have hated it.
Like,
coming off of the Giants loss, you would have hated this one. It was worse, Dan. So feel fortunate you didn't watch it. Feel fortunate you get to rewind, fast forward when you're watching highlights.
Yeah.
Hopefully for you, just fast forward.
Well, at least it's still 3-2.
I got the van. You still got a steering wheel. You still got tires. There's no engine, but this car can run. We'll put it up. We'll put it up on Carvana and it will sell.
Legitimately, I am fascinated to see how Joe Ortiz manages this right now. Like,
I don't really know in terms of if his job is to bring in personnel at this point in time.
No, but like
the window is passed.
Literally, like what can he do? Like I mean, go look at the waiver wire.
You can make calls, but you're not getting a starting caliber offensive line from another team just yet. I don't believe that you've gotten other teams at that point where they're hitting the, the 2025 season's done. Let's hit the finish button and let's go fire sale type of situation. It's not quite there yet. Yeah,
running back
now
rental.
Just on top of it, now you need a fucking running back. You need another edge player, before Khalil Mack comes back, because there is no pass rush out of Tuli. You need another running back, obviously, because your first two are now gone. You need about umpteen offensive linemen.
And you played 5 games.
Fuck. Somehow, Mac Jones in San Francisco, with all their injuries, are still winning games.
You have the same amount of wins as the New England Patriots do right now.
And they're winning games. And they don't have Justin Herbert. Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a shit ton of injuries on their offensive line, and they're 4-1.
That's it.
Figure it out.
That's it. We'll see. show us. Jake, this was therapeutic, I guess. Thank you to everybody who left the voicemails.
Keep them coming. Dan and I love this. I know this is not the type of conversation that we want to be having with you guys, but we appreciate it all the same when it comes to this. As Dan says, this is therapy. We get through this stuff together.
For Jake, I'm Dan. After another debilitating loss, I wonder what's going to happen next. We'll find out on the next Chargers.
Yeah.
Unleashed. This is insane.